Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Here's another enrichment lesson on radioactivity, highlighting one method of estimating the heat power from the interior of the Earth. So just sit back, relax, till the end of this video, watch and learn. This is the problem. Heat flows to the surface of the Earth from its interior. Two-thirds of this heat is radiogenic in origin, which means it comes from the decay of radioactive elements in the Earth's mantle, primarily from the isotopes uranium-238 and thorium-232. We can estimate the Earth's internal energy supply due to the decay of uranium as follows. Letter A. There are 31.0 milligrams of uranium-238 in each kilogram of mantle. Estimate how many uranium-238 isotopes there are per kilogram of mantle. Letter B. The half-life of uranium-238 is 4.47 billion years. Calculate the decay constant in units of per second. Letter C. Multiply the results in parts A and B to obtain the activity in each kilogram of mantle. Letter D. Each decay chain from uranium-238 to lead-206 releases 52.0 million electron volts of energy. Use this value to convert the activity into watts per kilogram of mantle. Letter E. The mass of the Earth is 6.0 times 10 to the 24th kilogram, and two-thirds of this is mantle mass. Use these values to estimate the power Earth receives from uranium decays. Letter F. Uranium decays account for 39% of the radiogenic supply of heat. Estimate the Earth's total heat power related to radioactive decays. And letter G. Earth also releases heat that remains from its formation with a power comparable with that due to radioactivity. Estimate the total heat power Earth receives from its interior. It's illustrated in Figure 1. The layers of the Earth's interior consist of the outermost layer, called the crust, which is 5 to 70 kilometers thick, followed by the mantle, extending to about 2,900 kilometers deep. It accounts for about 80% of Earth's volume. It is made of solid, hot, malleable rock that slowly moves via convection currents. The third layer is the outer liquid core, 2,200 kilometers in thickness. A highly dense liquid layer composed mostly of molten iron, and nickel. As the Earth rotates, the movement um, of this electrically conductive liquid generates our Earth's magnetic field. And the innermost layer, called the inner solid core, 1,250 kilometers in thickness. Okay, it is a solid, white hot ball of iron and nickel, about the size of the moon. Despite scorching temperature, which is up to 7,000 degrees Celsius, the extreme pressure keeps it solid. In part A, our target variable is capital N, or the number of uranium-238 isotopes per kilogram of mantle. We are given that there are 31 milligrams of uranium-238 in each kilogram of mantle. So, to be able to find capital N, we just divide the given mass already expressed in grams, or that is 0.0310 grams, okay, and then divided by the molar mass of uranium-238, which is 238 grams per mole. And then multiply the resulting number of moles by the Avogadro's number, 6.02 times 10 raised to the 23rd power atoms per mole. And the result is capital N, or the number of uranium-238 isotopes or atoms, equals 7.84 times 10 raised to the 19, okay, isotopes or atoms per kilogram of mantle. In part B, we are required to find the decay constant, denoted here by the Greek letter lambda, in terms of the unit per second. We are given the half-life of the isotope uranium-238, equal to 4.47 times 10 raised to the 9th power year. Okay, and we have to convert it to seconds. So multiplying this by the conversion factor, 1 year, or in 1 year, there are 3.16 times 10 raised to the 7th power second. So multiplying these quantities, okay, we get the half-life of uranium-238 isotope in seconds. That is 1.41 times 10 raised to the 17th power seconds. Okay? So we then proceed in finding the decay constant lambda, which is simply equal to the natural log of the number 2 divided by the half-life. That is, okay, the decay constant lambda is equal to 0.693. This is the value of the natural log of the number 2. And then divide it by our computed half-life expressed in second, or 1.41 times 10 raised to the 17th power second. So when you do our math, we obtain the decay constant lambda equal to 4.91 times 10 raised to the negative 18 per second. In part C, okay, we are also asked to find the activity denoted by capital A of the uranium-238 isotope in each kilogram of mantle. Using the equation, activity is equal to the product of capital N, or the number of isotopes, uranium-238 isotopes, and the decay constant lambda. That is, the activity A equals 7.84 times 10 raised to the 19th power atoms, okay, times 4.91 times 10 raised to the negative 18 per second. So, doing your math, we obtained the value of the activity capital A equal to 385 becquerel per kilogram of mantle. Becquerel is the SI unit of activity or radioactivity. So according to the problem, the decay chain of uranium-238 transmuting into lead-206, an amount of energy, 52.0 million electron volts, is released. Okay, so using this energy value, okay, we want to convert the activity of the uranium-238 isotope in terms of the power, okay, the power expressed in watts per kilogram of mantle. That is, we convert 52.0 million electron volts into its joule equivalent, okay, simply by multiplying 1.602 times 10 to the negative 19 joules per electron volts. And that will result to an amount of energy released per chain of decay equal to 8.33 times 10 to the negative 12 joules. Therefore, we can proceed computing for the power in watts per kilogram of mantle by just multiplying the activity of the uranium-238 isotope computed earlier, 385 per second, okay, by the amount of energy, okay, released per decay chain, 8.33 times 10 to the negative 12 joules, resulting to power capital P equal to 3.21 times 10 to the negative 9 watts. This is per kilogram of mantle. In part E, the target variable is the power received by the Earth from uranium-238 decays. So, we first determine the mass of mantle, which according to the problem is equal to 2/3 the mass of the Earth, or 2/3 multiplied by 6.00 times 10 to the 24th power kilogram, or the mass of the mantle equals 4.00 times 10 raised to the 24th power kilogram. So we can now compute the total uranium-238 power, simply multiplying the mass of the mantle, 4.00 times 10 to the 24th power kilogram, by the computed power of the mantle, okay, which we computed earlier, 3.21 times 10 to the negative 9 watts per kilogram. And the result is the power P received by the Earth from uranium-238 decays equals 12.8 times 10 raised to the 15 power watts. According to the problem, uranium decays account for 39% of the radiogenic supply of heat. Okay, so in part F, we are required to find the total heat power related to radioactive decays. Okay, the total radiogenic power is equal to the uranium-238 power divided by 0.39. That is 12.8 times 10 to the 15th power watts. Okay, that is the uranium-238 power computed earlier. So dividing that by 0.39, we obtain what we call the total radiogenic power, 32.8 times 10 to the 15th power watts. All right. Now you might be wondering why we divide the uranium-238 power by 0.39. All right. Okay. This is how you can check, because according to the problem, 39% of the radiogenic supply of heat, okay, is due to the uranium decays, okay, or uranium-238 decays in terms of power. So if this computed total radiogenic power, 32.8 times 10 to the 15th power watts, is multiplied by 0.39, right? In other words, 39% of this total radiogenic power will actually, okay, correspond to the power of the uranium-238 isotopes or uranium-238 decays. All right? Last but not least, in part G, we estimate the total internal heat power of the Earth. This is just the sum of the radiogenic power and what is called the primordial heat power, or the heat that remains from its or from the Earth's formation, that is, from the Earth's creation. Okay? So with a power comparable with that due to radioactivity. So that means this so-called primordial heat power, okay, is just equal to what we call the radiogenic power. That is, the total Earth's internal heat power equals 32.8 times 10 to the 15th power watts plus 32.8 times 10 to the 15th power watts as well. So that gives us the total Earth's internal heat power, or 6.56 times 10 raised to the 16th power watts. So that concludes our lesson. May I say mabuhay, kita-kits in the next episode. MashaAllah. Thank you very much for your indulgence. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Alhamdulillah.